Chapter 144. Su Yiyan put the fish on a plate and began to wash the rice to cook porridge. However, she found that a large group of viewers had suddenly flooded into her live broadcast room. There must be something wrong when things are abnormal, especially when these people's comments were strange no matter how she looked at them. Medicinal Cuisine Live Broadcast Room? It should be this, right? I followed the link sent by Big Senior Brother. It should be right. Su Yiyan's live broadcast room had just experienced a water army attack, so she was a little sensitive to this. Just when Su Yiyan and the viewers in the live broadcast room thought that a new water army was in place, a few comments attracted their attention. Host, is what is said on the internet true? Are the Chinese herbs that you used in your live broadcast room really lost on ancient Earth? Can eating them really cure diseases? Host, do you really have Chinese herbs that were extinct on ancient Earth? I saw the ginseng in your video recording. It was so big. Can you take it out and show it to us? Please. Host, we are students of the Department of Pharmacy. Are the materials used in your live broadcast really the Chinese herbs recorded in the text? Where did you get these Chinese herbs that have long been extinct? Can they be planted? You don't have to answer these questions if you don't want to. But please answer my last question. Can these Chinese herbs be sold? Can you sell them to me? Su Yiyan was stunned. Although she had been emphasizing that the materials used in her live broadcast were Chinese herbs, most of the viewers watching the live broadcast only cared about whether the dishes tasted good or not and whether they could cure her difficult disease. Almost no one was like these people who came up and asked her about the herbs. Could it be that there was news about her grandfather so quickly? Before Su Yiyan could think about it, the system had already helped her find the answer. A few minutes ago, a student from the Department of Pharmacy of University A forwarded the host's live broadcast recording and mentioned the Chinese herbs in it. It caused a heated discussion among the students of the same department. Now, almost everyone has come to find you. A student from the Department of Pharmacy of University A? Peng Jiaji was a postgraduate student in the Department of Pharmacy of University A. He had been following his teacher to study the Chinese herbs that were extinct on ancient Earth because they could not be brought away, or because they could not adapt to the current environment after migrating. 2 days ago, his younger sister suddenly sent him a video. She said that she had recently fallen in love with a food streamer who was very good at cooking and could even cure illnesses. If he passed it on to a top student in the pharmaceutical department, it might inspire him. Peng Jiaji had been working on his thesis for the past 2 days. He thought that his sister was just joking with him, so he didn't take it to heart. A few minutes before Su Yiyan started broadcasting, he was extremely annoyed and happened to see this video again. Peng Jiaji furrowed his eyebrows and opened it with the intention of adjusting his mood. However, his attention was immediately attracted by the huge ginseng in Su Yiyan's hand. What did this streamer just say? The thing in her hand was ginseng. The ginseng that only appeared in ancient literature and was known as the king of herbs? Peng Jiaji sat up abruptly. His hands trembled as he flipped through the literature. After a long time, he finally found a crude black and white ginseng drawing in a book. He took the picture and compared it with the ginseng that appeared in the video for a long time. He felt that it was a little similar but also a little different. It was really difficult to come to a conclusion. Chapter 145. Yi Qilyong, the dean of University A's Department of Pharmacy, was a white-haired old man in his 60s or 70s. Logically speaking, he should have retired a long time ago. However, this old man was not one to admit defeat. He insisted on staying in his post and continuing to shine for his ideals. Although the university was very happy to have a big shot helping them, they did not dare to arrange too many classes or too many students for him, considering the old man's age. Most of the students Yi Qilyong taught now were top students in the field of pharmacy. They mainly focused on Western medicine. The only regret was that Yi Qilyong's family had a Chinese medicine book that had been passed down for generations. Yi Qilyong had decided to study medicine because he read this book when he was young. Who would have thought that when he grew up, he would realize that Chinese medicine was in decline? Even a large portion of the Chinese herbs that were needed had been lost during the 2 transitions. It had been completely annihilated in the long river of history. Without Chinese herbs, a Chinese medicine practitioner was like a housewife who could not cook without rice. Yi Qilyong had no choice but to reluctantly switch to Western medicine. Even so, He had not given up on exploring and researching Chinese medicine and Chinese herbs all these years. Peng Jiaji was the student that he valued the most among the younger generation. Even though the video he sent had an exaggerated name, Yi Qilyong still clicked on it to take a look. When he saw it, his reaction was even worse than Peng Jiaji's. He was so old that he almost couldn't catch his breath. Yi Qilyong finally steadied his breathing. His eyes were almost glued to the screen. He couldn't wait to look through the screen and observe the ginseng up close. In the end, it was Peng Jiaji's message that pulled the old man's attention back. "Teacher, have you seen the video? Is the ginseng that appeared in the video the king of all herbs recorded in the ancient medical books? Is it a tonic that can replenish the qi, nourish the blood, and prolong one's life? I only found a black and white picture, so I can't be sure. I can only take the liberty of sending it to you to see if it's real or fake." Yi Qilyong seemed to have woken up from a dream. He did not care about anything else and immediately sent Peng Jiaji a video message. As soon as the call connected, he asked a bunch of questions. "Where did you get this video? Where is the girl talking in it now? When did you get this video? Why did you only send it to me now?" Peng Jiaji was frightened by his tutor's excited and somewhat ferocious look. He said with trepidation, "This video was sent to me by my sister 2 days ago. She said that it was a video clip of a new live streamer that she especially likes. I only opened it today because I was free. I didn't deliberately hide it from you." Sob, 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 "I feel wronged. I feel bitter in my heart." "Recording the live stream?" Yi Qilyong's eyes twinkled as he said excitedly, "Hurry up and ask your sister where the live stream is. Once you find out, give me the address immediately." Peng Jiaji finally recovered from his initial shock. Looking at his tutor's anxious look, a faint guess arose in his heart. "Tutor, could it be that the person in the video is really—" Although Yi Qilyong did not answer, his expression said it all. "That's great. My sister mentioned before that she's a food live streamer. She's been live streaming for a while now. Maybe there are other similar types of Chinese herbs in her live stream." Chapter 146. When Peng Jiaji sent a message to his sister, she was busy arguing with the ghostwriters in the live broadcast room. She had no time to pay attention to him. Peng Jiaji waited for a long time without getting a reply. The tutor was also urging him. In the end, he couldn't wait any longer and sent a video to his sister, which attracted her attention. When Peng Jiaji's sister heard her brother asking her for the live broadcast room's address, she didn't think much about it. She just thought that her recommendation had worked. She happily sent the live broadcast room's address. She also sent the video recordings of Su Yiyen's previous live broadcasts to Peng Jiaji. These complete videos were different from the previous clip. Most of them were named after the medicinal cuisine made in the current period. When Peng Jiaji saw a series of names of herbs such as motherwort, ginseng, cinnamon, lotus seed, and so on, the corner of his eyes twitched unconsciously. He turned around and sent it to his tutor. As soon as he sent it, he received a request for help from his sister. "Brother, are you free now? If you're free, come to the live broadcast room and help me tear down a few people. The host has been defamed. Damn it, a group of trash ghostwriters. Seeing that our host is a little famous, they openly bullied her. If the host stops broadcasting because of this, I'll stab them." "What? Defamed? She might stop broadcasting? How could this be?" It wasn't easy to find such a treasure host. If she was scolded by these people until she stopped broadcasting, where could they go to cry? Peng Jiaji was depressed. Not only did he apply for an account to help his sister, but he also gathered his junior brothers and sisters in the same department to help. Yi Qilyong was smashed to death by a bunch of videos sent by his student. Before he had time to be happy, he found out about this matter. He was also very angry. This academic big shot who spent most of his time in the research room, and even when he went online, he only posted some boring academic reports and student homework. Just like that, he logged into his public account that he hadn't used for a long time and posted a post criticizing Wen Jingping. Originally, it was just a public debate between the same kind of hosts on the platform. Because of the big shot's interference, the situation changed and began to develop towards a situation that Wen Jingping couldn't control. Su Yiyen roughly understood the whole story through the system. He had a good impression of this old man who had never met him before, but had dared to stand up for him against the son of the world, just because of a few Chinese herbs. Then, she saw her own live broadcast room suddenly light up with familiar exclusive special effects, and the reward announcement sounded at the right time. Congratulations to the streamer, Yen Yen, for receiving 100 luxurious and exquisite villas from a loyal viewer, Mountain Yu Su. Congratulations to the host, Yen Yen, for receiving 9,999 roses from a loyal viewer, Mountain Yu Su. Congratulations! Did the moderator finally ban the water army that came to stir up trouble and came back to reward and comfort the streamer? Ah, today is also a day to cry for the beautiful love between the host and the host. Previous poster, don't say such things. The streamer has a family in real life. She already has a family, but the host still dotes on her so much. It can be said that this is true love. As soon as the special effects were turned on, there were immediately a lot of pop-up screens that surrounded the rich people who were praising her. However, in this dense barrage of bullet screen comments, what attracted Su Yayan the most was a confession message sent by the main character. Yen Yen, don't be angry because of those water army keyboard warriors. In my heart, you will always be the best. Kiss, hug, raise me high. Chapter 147. Not only did Fu Su Mountain Yu Mountain's message shock Su Yayan, but it also shocked the other viewers in the live stream. Before this well-deserved #1 dad would only leave a warning when his account was banned. At other times, he would only send tips and not spam the screen. As a result, many people regarded him as a cold and aloof little brother, little sister. Now, this cold and aloof person was openly acting cute and flattering the streamer. Could it be that they had always misunderstood that the father of the #1 on the leaderboard was not a cold and aloof young man or woman, but a soft and cute girl? Because of Fu Su Mountains. So, are you being kept by a rich woman? Dog head. The crowd. Su Yayan also suddenly came to her senses. She tried to hold back her laughter and said, "Thank you for your consolation. I'm fine. I know they're trying to make me angry and hurt my body. In the end, I'm the one who's at a disadvantage. I wouldn't do something that would harm others without benefiting myself. They're the ones who should be angry. With so many accounts banned, who knows how much money they've lost? The troll army that had their accounts blocked. Aya, how infuriating." Hua Chenhuan, who was watching the live broadcast, couldn't help but smile when she heard Su Yayan's words. She then gave Yu Zian another order. Send a lawyer's letter to all the companies behind the fake reviewers to help them realize who they should not have offended. Housekeeper? Yi Chilyang was an old antique who spent most of his time behind closed doors, so he didn't know much about these young people. Peng Jiaji, who was urgently summoned to the office to watch the live broadcast with his teacher, tried to explain, the one who tipped the streamer just now. Reward? This is it. Peng Jiaji helped to pull open the gift rewards at the bottom of the live broadcast room and explained to the teacher, "This is a gift. You have to spend money to buy it. The better the gift, the higher the price." After sending it out, the streamer would split it with the website and receive a portion of the money. Giving a gift means that you're willing to spend money on the streamer and you like the streamer's work. Yi Chilyang's eyes lit up. Then, if I give her more, will she answer my questions and even agree to some of my requests and show us those herbs? Peng Jiaji wasn't sure either, so he could only give a vague answer. Probably. Usually, when there were too many rewards, as long as the request was not too excessive, the streamer would usually satisfy the audience. Do you want to give it a try? Then let's give it a try. Yi Chilyang was also a swift and decisive person. With Peng Jiaji's help, he immediately bought a few luxurious villas for Su Yayan. Another tycoon? Did the streamer take a rich man's charm script? Why are the viewers in the live streaming room so rich? As poor as I am, I feel like I don't fit in with this high-end live stream. Every day I hate the rich. I also want to keep the streamer QAQ. Su Yayan heard the reward notification and looked up. Just as she was about to thank the new tycoon viewer, she saw a sentence posted by the new tycoon viewer. Chapter 148. Su Yayan was stunned, but she quickly reacted. This viewer was the old professor from the pharmaceutical department who had spoken up for her online not long ago. The other viewers in the live broadcast room also saw this message and began to discuss it. The dean of University A's pharmaceutical department? Is he some powerful big shot? It sounded like it was very powerful. Is there anyone who knows more? Me. I'm a student from University A's pharmaceutical department. Our dean is a real big shot in the industry. It's a bit difficult to list out his specific achievements here. If you don't understand, you can directly search for the words, Yi Chiliang. You'll be surprised. Many people really went to search because of his words. A series of dazzling achievements, awards, and titles were found. F***CK. Awesome. This is a real big shot. Ha ha ha. I saw the big shot scolding that pretentious female streamer on the public platform. That wording, that momentum, it really made my blood boil. Awesome. Unfortunately, the old man's post has already been taken over by the internet water army and the female streamer's brainless fans. It's a bit miserable. Yi Chiliang was an academic after all. Most people like him hid behind the scenes, keeping a low profile and not being known. Wen Jinping's fans and the internet water army had never heard of him. They thought that he was just a marketing account that was trying to ride on popularity, so they just scolded him. They didn't realize that they had inadvertently kicked another iron plate. Ha 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 ha, why else would they be called brainless? They even dared to attack this big shot who has made countless contributions to the medical industry. This group of people probably don't know what evil deeds are. Am I the only one who thinks that this big shot was seduced by the streamer's cooking materials? So, what the streamer said before was true. Can the food she makes really cure diseases? His words woke her up. When it came to things like eating to cure diseases, no matter how much other people boasted, she had never tried it herself. There would always be some doubts. And in this situation, did the authorities need to stamp it? A large number of comments flashed across the screen. Su Yiyan naturally saw them, especially the one that said he was attacked by the internet water army and brainless fans because he spoke up for her. So it's Dean Yi. Thank you, Dean Yi, for speaking up for me. I'm also very sorry for implicating Dean Yi, who is being chased and scolded because of a small streamer like me. Some of the materials used in my live stream are indeed Chinese medicinal herbs recorded in ancient medical books. Can I have a look? Su Yiyan didn't have any bad feelings towards this old senior, so he readily agreed. Of course, the materials used in my live broadcast room are all public. As Su Yiyan spoke, she pushed the herbs that were used today in front of the camera. Poria cocos, Codonopsis, astragalus, cordyceps flower. Although Yi Chiliang had already expected that there might be more than just ginseng in this live stream, when he saw these things that only existed in images and words, he couldn't help but hold his breath. Even his hands couldn't stop trembling. Yi Chiliang looked at them through the virtual image for a while, and even turned on the taste simulator to taste them. He finally confirmed that these were indeed the Chinese medicinal herbs recorded in his medical book. Tears welled up in his eyes as he trembled as he typed a message. Can you also take out the ginseng that appeared in the previous live stream for me to see? Sure. Su Yiyan didn't refuse and took out the big ginseng from under the cupboard. Chapter 149. The ginseng that had been plucked for a few days was no longer as vibrant as before, but just from the ginseng itself, one could still see its shape and state. However, this was not the main point. The main point was that such an extremely rare and precious herb was only casually stored in a gray and dusty black bag. Where was the box? Where was the box? At the very least, it would have been better to store it in a beautiful gift bag. Using such a shabby bag to casually store it, did you think it was some wildflower that could be found anywhere by the roadside? What a waste of God's gift. What a waste of God's gift. Yi Chiliang clutched his aching heart and was on the verge of collapsing. He was so heartbroken that he wanted nothing more than to dive into the screen and snatch the ginseng. He wanted to personally customize a luxurious gift box and carefully store it in it, treating it as a family heirloom. Su Yiyan was completely unaware of Yi Chiliang's inner roar. She held the ginseng and stood there for a while. She felt that this was a little silly, so she asked, "Is it done?" "Forget it. I'll put it aside for now. Take your time to look at it. I still have a kanji to make. It's about time. We'll talk about the rest later." As Su Yiyan spoke, she casually placed the ginseng beside the other plates of herbs. The withered green leaves and ginseng roots lay casually on the white porcelain plates. It looked as miserable as it could get. When Yi Chilyong saw this scene, his heart ached again. He felt that if he continued to look at it, he might have to call for emergency treatment. The last medicinal cuisine of the day is Gorgon lotus seed congee. It mainly uses gorgon and lotus seeds. I've already made lotus seeds once before, so I won't introduce them further. Gorgon is actually somewhat similar to lotus seeds. It's a type of water lily. The gorgon is its seed kernel, just like how lotus seeds are the seeds of lotus flowers. As Su Yiyen spoke, she washed the 2 herbs and placed them into the clay pot to boil with the glutinous rice. After the gorgon was cooked, she added some white or brown sugar to complete the congee. Gorgon has the effect of nourishing qi and nourishing the body. Using it together with barley has the effect of removing dampness. If you add glutinous rice to make porridge, it will have the effect of strengthening the kidney. When Yi Chilyong heard Su Yiyen's explanation, he couldn't help but have some doubts in his heart. As usual, he rewarded her with a few villas and asked tentatively, "Young lady, are you a doctor? Where did these Chinese herbs come from? Can you sell a part of it to us for research? The price is negotiable." If someone else had asked this question, Su Yiyen might have pretended not to see it, but this old man had spoken up for her not long ago. Su Yiyen also accepted his kindness, and said with a faint smile, "These things are passed down in my family, and have been cultivated recently. As for whether or not I'll sell it, and how I'll sell it, we'll have to wait." Wait for what? Wait for the news. Su Yiyen's words were an indirect admission that these herbs would be sold in the future. Not only Yi Chilyong, but the old viewers who had watched her live broadcast for a few episodes were also excited, and they sent a lot of questions on the pop-up screen. The official announcement had not been released yet, and Su Yiyen had no intention of being entangled in this topic. Next, as usual, let's draw a prize. The 2 soups and the porridge will each be given to a lucky audience member. As for the fish, only one was fried, so it has to be given to the patient first. It won't be participating in the draw. As soon as she said this, the audience no longer worried about the ingredients. They began to complain that Su Yiyen did too little, and they were envious of the host's sick family member. Su Yiyen had always mentioned her family in her previous live broadcast, so the audience naturally thought that the patient was Su Yiyen's family member. Chapter 150. The system's lottery speed was very fast, and the 3 slots soon popped up. Due to Yi Chilyong's free publicity, the number of people participating in the lottery in the live broadcast room increased significantly. It wasn't an exaggeration to say that the 3 slots were 1 in a million. The audience members who weren't selected complained and cried on the bullet screen. In addition to the lucky audience members who were selected, they were also jealous of the host's family members who could eat the host's meals at any time. Su Yiyen packed everything and looked up to see the screen full of jealousy. His eyes turned slightly, and he smiled faintly. "Finally, I'll pick a lucky audience member to be the attending patient for the next live broadcast. The selected audience member only needs to send me a recent photo, and I'll choose to customize a medicinal cuisine suitable for his physique and send it to him in the next live broadcast." Su Yiyen had already learned from the system that the function of observation was not limited to reality. It could also be used on the internet. In other words, as long as the other party sent a recent photo of himself, Su Yiyen would be able to see his physical condition at the time of the photo and formulate a medicinal cuisine suitable for his physique. As soon as this proposal came out, the audience members who weren't selected were once again in an uproar. "Oh my God, a tailor-made medicinal cuisine. What kind of God's chosen one is this? System, quickly familiarize yourself with me. Please let me be selected. Gods and Buddhas above, I'm willing to be a vegetarian for the rest of my life in exchange for being selected. I beg the European Emperor to take care of me, please." What nonsense are you talking about above? Gods, Buddhas, and European Emperor? Aren't you afraid that they'll fight? Unlike me, I'm very single-minded. I worship the number 1 on the leaderboard. Pray for the number 1 on the leaderboard to bless me. There were countless people praying to the gods and Buddhas in the bullet screen. No matter how one looked at it, it felt like they were cramming at the last minute before the big exam. Su Yiyen's lips curved slightly, and he quickly selected a lucky audience member. Su Yiyen glanced at the other party's ID, and his face went blank for a moment. He blinked and stared for a while before he was sure that he hadn't seen wrongly. Ahem, congratulations to the viewer with the ID. Hubby is a Mediterranean. Please send me a private message with your photo after the live broadcast. I will personally order a medicinal cuisine for you during the next live broadcast. That's all for today's live stream. See you next time. After Su Yiyan finished speaking, he did not pay any attention to the screams on the screen. It was as if he had missed out on 100 million viewers. He simply turned off the live broadcast. It was Yi Qilyong's first time playing this game, so his reaction was slow. It was only when Su Yiyan turned off the live stream that he snapped out of his daze and said in annoyance, "Why did she leave? What should he do now? She just said something about seeing you on the next episode. When is the next episode? Tomorrow or the day after tomorrow? No, I can't wait that long." Peng Jiaji knew that his teacher was anxious and hurriedly said, "Teacher, we can send her a private message." Private message? A private message is... Just as Peng Jiaji was about to discuss this with his teacher, a message suddenly popped up on his chat account. Chapter 151. The Research Institute. What Research Institute? Peng Jiaji was also a little confused. Why was the Research Institute involved in this? My sister said that the Research Institute just released an announcement to speak up for that streamer. Yi Qilyong's eyes flashed slightly. He decisively clicked into the Research Institute's public account and saw the announcement floating at the top of the page. The announcement looked quite standard. In summary, it said, "Thank you to an anonymous person for freely providing his family's extinct plant seeds. The Research Institute has recently used this batch of seeds to cultivate Chinese herbs that were lost in ancient earth. These Chinese herbs can not only nourish the body, but also cure diseases. This is a great discovery and something worthy of celebration. The Research Institute will try to introduce nutrient solutions with Chinese herbs in the future. They will also open up a separate channel to sell Chinese herbs. Those who don't understand Chinese herbs and don't know how to consume them can go to XX Live Broadcast Room. There will be experts there to clear up your doubts." The announcement also included holographic images of several new Chinese herbs, as well as detailed internal composition, and some related knowledge and complex pharmacology. Although the announcement didn't mention the name of the person who provided the seeds for free, it included a link to Su Yiyan's live broadcast room at the end. It also directly labeled the person in the live broadcast room as an expert. Coincidentally, when Su Yiyan answered Yi Qilyong's question during the live broadcast today, she said meaningfully, "Wait for the news." Putting the two together, it wasn't hard to guess who they were talking about. Yi Qilyong repeatedly read the announcement several times. His expression was unprecedentedly serious. Peng Jiaji trembled with fear as he watched from the side. After a while he asked tentatively, "Teacher, are we still going to privately message the streamer?" "No need for now," Yi Qilyong said as he suddenly stood up and walked out. Peng Jiaji was shocked. "Teacher, where are you going?" "The Research Institute." The current director of the Research Institute was his former student. He knew better than anyone whether the Research Institute had obtained any extinct plant seeds or whether it had been cultivated. It wasn't an exaggeration to say that these things had appeared out of nowhere. He had to find someone who knew what was going on. While Yi Qilyong was rushing over to the Research Institute to get to the bottom of the matter, Yu Zian and the others were also stunned by the sudden appearance of this heavyweight Research Institute. It took him a while to come back to his senses, and he was extremely excited. F***CK, young madam is too awesome, isn't she? She actually got the Research Institute to publicly advertise for her. That's a Research Institute we're talking about. Zhua Yanbai looked at Yu Zian jumping up and down in excitement. The corners of his lips curled up as he smiled helplessly. "I think this is to be expected." "Expected? Have you forgotten the identity of young madam's maternal family?" Yu Zian was stunned. "You mean?" Zhua Yanbai nodded solemnly. They had investigated Su Yiyan's family background several years ago. Su Yiyan's maternal grandfather was the backbone of the Research Institute's Science and Technology Department, and her maternal grandmother was the head of the Biology Department. It could be said that most of the people in the Research Institute were the younger generation of her family. It was precisely because of this that Hua Qihan had done everything he could to get Hua Xiaofan to marry Su Yiyan. Unfortunately, it was better to raise a wooden club than a son. Chapter 152. What Zhou Yanbai cared more about was not Su Yiyan's relationship with the research institute, but the public Chinese herbal medicine. It was the first time he had heard that these hua herbs, seafood, and fruits could help nourish the body and cure illnesses. His young master's legs had seen countless doctors and had undergone countless treatments, but there had been no improvement. Would young madam's herbs? Hey, why are you in a daze? Yu Xian's call successfully pulled Zhou Yanbai's attention back. He smiled and said, "Nothing." Yu Xian saw that he did not want to talk about it, so he did not force him. He continued happily, "Ha ha ha ha, I was thinking about how to teach that evil female streamer a lesson, but now it seems like there's no use for me." That's the Research Institute. With this announcement, who would dare to offend young madam in the future? Offending young madam is the same as offending the Research Institute. If you offend the Research Institute, just cutting off your nutrient supply is enough to make you beg for death. She's probably regretting it so much that her intestines are green. Zhou Yanbai glanced at him and poured cold water on him. Don't forget that she's a streamer on your website. She's a popular streamer. Yu Xian was stunned for a moment. Can I hide her from the public? What do you think? She's Hua Xiaofeng's current girlfriend. Young master and young madam might want to end her personally. Before you act on your own, you'd better ask young master first. Yu Xian was even more stunned when he heard this. Asking him to ask Hua Chenhuan? Wasn't he in a hurry to die? But you're right about one thing. What? Zhou Yanbai narrowed his eyes and gloated. She's probably regretting it so much that her intestines are green. Wen Jingping was indeed regretting it now. She was the most popular girl in the gourmet section of the website. In just 1 or 2 months, she had attracted millions of fans to watch her live stream. When she first posted that post, it quickly rushed to the public with the support of these fans and the help of the internet water army. Just as she had expected, her tearful complaint successfully won the sympathy of many people. Because of this exposure, many passers-by found out that she was participating in a variety show and voted for her out of pity. She was directly pulled from the bottom circle to the middle position, which could be said to be a pleasant surprise. After that, Wen Jingping bought another wave of paid posters and asked them to lead people to Su Yiyan's live broadcast room to scold people. Unexpectedly, Su Yiyan and Hua Chenhuan did not play by the rules. No matter how many people went, they were all sealed and never returned. Wen Jingping already had an ominous feeling in her heart at that time. However, when she thought about how this would definitely cause public anger in the live broadcast room, the harmony in the live broadcast room was just a temporary illusion. As long as he pinned the label of plagiarism on her outside of the live broadcast room, she would not be able to hide the truth from the masses no matter what kind of background she had. At that time, her foundation would be destroyed. So what if she had more ancient earth plants? She had plenty of ways to ruin her reputation and make her take out things that no one would believe in. Wen Jingping had a good plan, but she did not expect that God's plan would not work out. In this world, it was impossible for everything to go according to her wishes without any unforeseen circumstances. Chapter 153. It wasn't until someone dug out the old man's life history that Wen Jingping suddenly panicked. That ominous premonition became even stronger. Her male fans didn't back down after learning about Yi Qilyang's identity. Instead, they started cursing Yi Qilyang for taking advantage of his seniority, and mocking Yi Qilyang for having an affair with that female streamer. Their words were vulgar and made people feel uncomfortable. Wen Jingping tried to stop them, but it wasn't very effective. The more she tried to stop them, the more the male fans felt sorry for her and the fiercer they scolded her. It was also at this moment that Wen Jingping realized that things had started to develop in a direction that she couldn't control. Unfortunately, it was too late. The sudden statement from the Research Institute made the passers-by who had previously spoken up for Wen Jingping give up. Some of them even turned around and cursed Wen Jingping for using them as tools. Only the male fans were still jumping around in place. However, it proved that 1 fan is better than 10 haters. The more they jumped around, the more disgusted they were. The originally good situation took a turn for the worse. Wen Jingping went from being the victim in the beginning to a vicious woman who casually slandered others and tried to suppress the newbie streamer to hype herself up. However, this wasn't the most troublesome thing. Someone spread the video of Su Yiyan's carving, and it was seen by a chef from a high-class restaurant. The chef was immediately amazed by the plate of carving work. After learning about the commotion caused by Wen Jingping, He immediately started to scold her on the internet. He ridiculed Wen Jingping for using a chicken feather as a token of authority, and boasted that she was a chef who had inherited her family's heritage just because she could make a few dishes that weren't presentable. He also accused her of plagiarism, and not to mention that she wasn't as good as her. Just her knife skills and those Sichuan boiled fish and spicy crayfish were enough to turn her into dregs in seconds. Even so, she still dared to say that she was using her family's recipes to benefit the audience, and said that others were using her dishes to become famous. How shameless! With the few dishes you made, we won't even accept them if you give them to our high-class restaurants. After a round of criticism, it could be said that Wen Jingping's face was slapped until it was swollen. Wen Jingping was so angry that her face turned blue, but she didn't dare to refute. If these words were said by Su Yiyan, she could still accuse her of being arrogant and despotic and making false charges. However, the person who said this was a chef who had been famous for a long time. If he were to speak up at this time, he would simply be sending himself to be tortured. She could only watch helplessly as her evil power backfired on her. The people who had previously helped her scolded Su Yiyan were now scolding her as fiercely as they scolded her. Even the talent show that had originally planned to retain her for a few episodes had also called, hinting that it would be best for her to withdraw from the competition. Otherwise, if she continued to cause trouble, it would not look good on anyone. How could this be? How could this be? Wen Jingping was both angry and anxious. Her small face became incomparably ferocious because of her unwillingness. It wasn't easy for me to come to this world. Now that I'm here, do I have to be mediocre like in my previous life, humiliated, bullied, and stepped on by countless people? I can't accept this. I can't accept this. Yes. Wen Jingping. To be precise, the Wen Jingping before she transmigrated was not a person of this world. She came from the ancient Earth of the 21st century. Chapter 154. When Wen Jingping woke up again, she had already arrived in this world. She had transmigrated into the body of a girl with a similar family background and the same name as her. Once again, Wen Jingping, who had read countless transmigration novels, almost immediately figured out her own situation. She smoothly brushed off her family and friends and replaced the original owner to survive until now. In the eyes of others, Wen Jingping was still the same as before. Obedient, sensible, kind, and tenacious. Only she knew that under her calm appearance, there was a heart of unwillingness hidden. She did not want to live the cowardly life of her previous life again. She firmly believed that God gave her a chance to live again because he wanted her to become the female lead of this world. She wanted countless men to fall in love with her, live and die for her, and completely change her fate. At first, Wen Jingping thought that she had just transmigrated into a parallel world, and that everything around her was not much different from her previous life. Until she saw the nutrient solution, and after some investigation, she found out that this world had been in the 21st century for nearly 1,000 years. And the place she was in now was not Earth, but the second planet that humans migrated to for survival. Before this, humans had undergone 2 migrations in order to survive. Although there were twists and turns, they finally settled on this small planet, but their vitality was greatly damaged. Many of the ancient Earth's flora and fauna, as well as its history and culture, were lost. The real future world was not as beautiful as humans imagined. After losing the home that they relied on for survival, humans struggled to survive. They gave up everything they could to finally find a place to live and began a difficult reconstruction. Destruction, migration, reconstruction, destruction again, migration again, and reconstruction again. This was a very long and difficult process. Therefore, in the past 1,000 years, the technology of this world was more advanced than the 21st century, but some aspects were still the same, and even worse than the 21st century. After learning that chefs were a rare profession in this era, and recipes were passed down as secrets, Wen Jingping did not even think about it and chose to live broadcast cooking to earn her first bucket of gold. Wen Jingping's family background in her previous life was similar to this. Her parents were outside, so she could only be self-sufficient at home and cook for herself. This was a common survival skill in his previous life, but in this world, it had become a skill sought after by countless people. Wen Jingping's live stream quickly became popular. She also enjoyed the celebrity treatment that she had always dreamed of in her previous life. She became the #1 live streamer on a website. She was discovered by an entertainment company and sent to a talent show to create a star. In addition, just like in idol dramas, She had a rich boyfriend who was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. Just as she was about to become a phoenix, she was scared out of her wits by this newbie anchor who suddenly appeared. The moment she saw the chili and spicy boiled fish, Wen Jingping keenly felt threatened. She had a feeling that this newbie streamer was not simple. She had something that she did not have. In order to confirm this hunch, Wen Jingping went to watch all the recordings of Su Yiyan's live broadcast. The familiar ancient earth herbs that should have been extinct appeared in front of Wen Jingping so obviously. She was so scared that she was in a mess, but it also made her more certain of her thoughts. Regardless of whether the appearance of these things was accidental or not, she had to destroy this person. Chapter 155. Wen Jingping was also scared out of her wits by Su Yiyan's sudden appearance. Otherwise, with her temperament, she would not have done such an impulsive thing. It was also because she had been living too comfortably recently. Her career and love were both successful. She was about to step onto the stage and become an entertainment star that she did not even dare to dream of in her previous life. She could not accept anyone becoming a threat to her fame. However, it was too late to say anything now. Talent shows were said to create stars, but in fact, they mainly relied on the audience's popularity. Although Wen Jingping was good-looking, she was not the kind of person who would amaze people at first glance. In addition, she was not a professional, so her ability was inferior to others. If it were not for Hua Xiaofang's help behind the scenes, she might not have been able to stay until now. Now that she had done such a thing, she had lost all her popularity. In turn, she had helped Su Yiyan. It was really a double whammy. Wen Jingping was angry and scared. However, there were some problems on Hua Xiaofang's side. His phone could not be reached. When she went to look for him, she was chased out. It seemed that he was unreliable. At the thought of this, Wen Jingping could not help but complain to Hua Xiaofang. What should I do now? Ning Chirue. Yes, there is still Ning Chirue. He will definitely help me. He definitely will. Wen Jingping also panicked. She suddenly remembered that she still had a spare tire. Immediately, as if she had grasped at the last straw, she looked for Ning Chirue's phone number with trembling hands and dialed it. Su Yiyan was unaware of all the things that happened on the internet. After turning off the live broadcast, she focused her attention on reality. This was the main reason why she chose not to show her face. The live broadcast was separated from reality, so that all the things that happened on the internet would not affect her and her family in reality. After sending out the lucky draw and Ning Chirue's dinner, Su Yiyan also saw the photo sent by the last lucky audience member. A young man in his early 30s with half a round egg on his head? Before seeing this photo, Su Yiyan was still hoping that this person might be joking. Now that he saw this picture, he finally understood that the Mediterranean Sea was really the Mediterranean Sea. Su Yiyan stared at the photo and confirmed that this person's head was the only serious injury. His body was fine. She then sent a message to him, telling him that she would try to make Dao Shengfa's medicinal cuisine for him in her next live stream. She also asked for his opinion, asking if she could mention the medicinal cuisine's effects in her live stream. As soon as the other party received Su Yiyan's message, he excitedly confirmed several times whether the medicinal cuisine could really help with hair growth. After receiving Su Yiyan's rather reserved reply, she wasn't too disappointed. She said very good-naturedly, "It's okay. It's not a shameful illness. Host, you can talk about it as much as you want. If it's really effective after I eat it, I'll definitely take the initiative to advertise for the streamer." This audience member was quite open-minded. Although it was a little embarrassing to be bald, it was not an illness that was related to a man's dignity like what was mentioned in the previous live stream. There was nothing to hide. Su Yiyan then breathed a sigh of relief and finalized the content of her next live stream. Just as she was about to continue to cook some dishes for dinner and send them to Hua Chenhuan, she received a private message from a certain someone. Today's live stream has ended successfully. Yan Yan is as good and awesome as ever. Love you. Chapter 156. Without waiting for Su Yiyan to react, the other party sent a bunch of flattering farts over. Mountain without him, 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 mountain without him. The mountain without him, 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 mountain without also. Yan Yan, the soup you made today was especially delicious, and the dishes were also very delicious. Especially that fish, it was fragrant and fresh, and could be said to be perfect in terms of appearance, smell, and taste. Then, this person used 300 words to write a short essay describing the delicious taste of the fish in all aspects. The original intention was to let Su Yayan realize the high value of the fish and not give it away casually. It was a pity that Su Yayan's focus was a little off. After the initial surprise, he narrowed his eyes and followed up with a question. Yen, have you tried the soup I made? Is it the matsutake, pigeon egg and sea cucumber soup? Hua Chenhuan was stunned when she saw this sentence. Su Yayan had made 2 soups today, poria and pigeon soup and matsutake, pigeon egg and sea cucumber soup. Before this, she had emphasized that 3 of the dishes today were medicinal cuisines for patients with kidney disease, and one of them was for premature ovarian failure. Although Su Yayan did not mention anything about the treatment of the soup, the ingredients used in the other 3 dishes all mentioned kidney problems. It was self-evident what the main treatment of this soup was. Hua Chenhuan, who was inexplicably diagnosed with premature ovarian failure, was speechless. However, President Hua, whose brain had short-circuited, did not consider that not only men could get kidney disease, but women could also get kidney disease. When he saw the word kidney, he naturally thought that men had a higher chance of getting it, and his current avatar was a young lady. In order to protect herself well, Hua Chenhuan endured the humiliation and replied, yes. When Su Yayan saw this reply, she almost couldn't hold back her laughter. Yen, I see. Can you describe the taste of this soup? Didn't you say it was delicious? Hua Chenhuan. A certain someone once again experienced what it meant to lift a rock only to drop it on one's own foot. He braced himself and pieced together another 300-word article about the experience of eating delicacies. Seeing this, Su Yayan almost laughed out loud. However, after laughing, Su Yayan was even more curious as to why this person's demeanor had suddenly changed. Yen, are you me? Mountain without the mountain without the mountain. Why do you ask? Yen, you weren't so talkative before. Hua Chenhuan's heart skipped a beat. Mountain the future. Then do you like the current me or the previous me? Yen, I can't say which one I like. I'm just curious about what you've been through. Hua Chenhuan was silent for a moment, but she still answered truthfully. Mulberry the mountain. Someone told me that as a fan, if you don't know how to flatter someone, you're not qualified. Su Yayan couldn't help but laugh again. She was suddenly curious about who said that. What a talent! Gu Xiaoyang, who had just finished his work and was rushing to the old house, suddenly felt a chill on his back and an itch on the tip of his nose. He sneezed loudly several times in a row. What's going on? Is someone talking about me behind my back? Yen, so you went to research how to flatter someone. Mulberry the mountain. Yes. Yen, did you come up with all that just now? Mulberry the mountain. Most of it was taken from other people and pieced together. Su Yayan narrowed her eyes, a trace of slyness flashing across her eyes. Yen, oh, so your love for me is all based on other people's things and piecing them together. It felt so perfunctory and a little sad. Chapter 157. As expected, Hua Chenhuan panicked when she saw the message. For a moment, she even forgot that she was chatting with Su Yayan as an ordinary fan in the live broadcast room. Mulberry without mountain. No. Mulberry without mountain. I didn't mean to patronize you. Mulberry without mountain. I'm too stupid. I can't say anything nice, so I have to borrow other people's flattery. Hua Chenhuan sent several messages in a row. It was obvious that she was really nervous. Su Yayan stopped when she was ahead and continued to guide her. Yen, I don't like to hear any fancy words. I only want to hear the truth. Mulberry without mountain. Got it. Yen. So. Hua Chenhuan frowned slightly and stared at this reply for a long time. Finally, she blushed slightly and typed 2 simple words. Mulberry without mountain. Love you. This time, it was Su Yayan's turn to be stunned. It was obviously a simple word, but it was unexpectedly seductive. Su Yayan's face was slightly red, and the corners of her lips couldn't help but curl upward, giving a certain someone great affirmation. Yen. Yes, this sentence is the best. Knowing that the other party didn't know his true identity and most likely thought that he was a girl, Hua Chenhuan couldn't help but be seduced by these words. After being stunned for a moment, she remembered her original intention, which was to conscientiously test the enemy's situation. Mulberry without mountain. What is the streamer doing now? Is she packing the braised fish? This was the second time Hua Chenhuan mentioned the fish. Even if Su Yiyan was slow, she could feel that something was wrong. Moreover, this sentence pattern was very familiar. Not long ago, Hua Chenhuan had used the same sentence pattern to ask her what she was doing at the hospital. So after all this time, this guy saw that she made a fish for Ning Chirue and was jealous again? Su Yiyan couldn't help but laugh. She wanted to tease him again. Yen, I just gave the fish to the delivery man to send to the patient. Mountain you mountain. Su Yiyan didn't know if it was an illusion or not, but she heard a little bit of resentment in that short, oh. It was full of jealousy. Yen, I'm cooking now. Mountain without the 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 life Yen. The live stream just now was about making medicinal cuisine for patients. Now, I'm making daily meals for my parents and my husband. It's different. Hubby. Hua Chenhuan's face reddened from the tip of her ears to the base of her neck at a speed visible to the naked eye. Dun Dun, who had been hiding in the corner playing with a ball, chased the ball and ran to Hua Chenhuan's feet. When he looked up and saw this scene, all the hair on his body stood on end. He cautiously and curiously circled the wheelchair a few times. What's wrong with this dog's father? His face could even change color. Hua Chenhuan didn't notice Dun Dun's strange behavior. When the heat on her face subsided a little, she changed her sour and resentful tone and replied in a good mood. Mountain you mountain. Then you're busy. I won't disturb you anymore. The small wave at the end was called a ripple. It was obvious how happy someone was in her heart now. Su Yiyan's eyes flashed with a smile. Although this guy was a vinegar jar, he was really easy to coax. He was like a kitten. He was easily irritated, but as long as you stroked his fur, he would immediately hold onto your hand and meow softly. Su Yiyan had no resistance to this at all. Chapter 158. At that moment, Ning Chirue, who had no idea that he had just escaped death, was lying on the hospital bed in the VIP ward, thinking about life with a serious expression. After Su Yiyan left, Ning Siyuan sent everyone away and asked about the conflict between Ning Chirue and Su Yiyan. Ning Chirue naturally could not say anything because he really did not have any conflict with Su Yiyan. The one who really had a conflict with her was Wen Jingping. At first, Ning Chirue was a little reluctant to talk about it, but later, he was really forced into a corner, so he accidentally mentioned Wen Jingping. Ning Siyuan had heard of Wen Jingping before, so he continued to interrogate him. Ning Chirue was young and inexperienced, so he was no match for his older brother. It did not take long for him to be defeated and had to confess. So, you had a conflict with Miss Su because of Wen Jingping? Oh no, that's not called a conflict. That's called you running up to her one-sidedly, but she couldn't be bothered with you. Ning Chirue was a little embarrassed, and he shouted angrily, Brother! It's no use calling me brother. Tell me honestly, what did she tell you? She said that she and Hua Xiaofan were in love, and they were engaged before Hua Xiaofan and Miss Su got engaged. Hua Xiaofeng's parents disliked her family background and thought that she was not good enough for Hua Xiaofeng, so they took the initiative and arranged for him to get engaged to Miss Su. After Hua Xiaofeng found out about this, he also wanted to break off the engagement, but Miss Su already had feelings for him. Not only was she unwilling to let them be together, but she also considered herself the legal wife and went to their school to cause trouble for her. Ning Siyuan's face darkened and he sneered. What she meant was that she and Hua Xiaofeng were in love, and Miss Su was the third party in their relationship. It was only because of the engagement that Miss Su became Hua Xiaofeng's fiancée, so she had no choice but to be the third party? Ning Chirue glanced at his brother's expression and did not dare to answer. Ning Siyuan took a deep breath and continued to ask, How did she explain to you that Hua Xiaofeng took her to the Su family and asked to break off the engagement in public some time ago? She said that Hua Xiaofeng had asked his parents and the Su family to break off the engagement several times, but there was no result. His parents even threatened to lock him up at home until the two of them were married if he dared to mention breaking off the engagement again. They really had no choice but to make a big fuss at the birthday banquet to force the Su family to agree to break off the engagement. How could you believe this kind of nonsense? Ning Siyuan finally couldn't hold it in any longer and shouted, panting heavily. How can you believe everything she says? Do you even have a brain? How many times did I tell you when you left home? What you see may not be the truth, and what you hear may not be the truth. You have to think of a way to distinguish and investigate on your own. You don't want to be coaxed by a few casual words like this. Ning Chirue shrunk his neck and muttered indignantly, Brother, how do you know that what she said must be false? Chapter 159. Ning Chirue was dumbfounded. It took him a while to find his voice. He mumbled, Maybe they knew each other before this and just got back together this year? Ning Siyuan sneered. Okay, even if that's the case. She said that Miss Su went to her school to cause trouble. If Miss Su really went to look for her in a public place like the school, there must be someone who saw it, right? Have you checked it out? Ning Chirue choked and looked guilty. Ning Siyuan sighed and said helplessly, You said that Miss Su has feelings for him and the Su family is unwilling to annul the marriage. Hua Xiaofeng's parents also looked down on Miss Wen's family background and insisted that Hua Xiaofeng marry Miss Su. That's why they had no choice but to annul the marriage in public. But according to my people's investigation, Hua Xiaofeng's parents might have done these things, but the Su family would never compromise. Compromise? Why? Because family Hua begged the Su family to agree to this marriage. If it weren't for the fact that Miss Su's mother and Mrs. Hua were old friends, the Su family wouldn't even want to marry family Hua. How could they know that Hua Xiaofeng had someone else in his heart and wanted to annul the marriage and still refuse? Ning Chirue was stunned. His heart had already started to waver, but he still said in a low voice, So, Jingping was deceived? Ning Siyuan was almost angered to death by his stupid brother. He had been in the business world for many years and had seen all kinds of people. Ning Chirue had just mentioned it casually, but Ning Siyuan had already seen through Miss Wen's character. Even if there were some small discrepancies in the details, the events in the past few months had caused so many messy things. If one were to say that Miss Wen was truly ignorant of everything and was untainted like a white lotus in its prime, he really wouldn't believe it. His poor stupid brother was deceived and still helped count the money. He was so stupid. Is it her or you who was deceived? Think about it yourself. After saying that, Ning Siyuan left without looking back. If he stayed any longer, he was afraid that he would be so angry that he would forget Ning Chirue's illness and beat him up with his own hands. After Ning Siyuan left, Ning Chirue fell into an indecisive contemplation. His rationality told him that his brother would not lie to him. There might really be something wrong with Wen Jingping. However, there was always a voice in his head telling him to believe in Wen Jingping. Even if someone was lying, it might not be her. At this moment, Ning Chirue received a call from Wen Jingping. Brother Chirue, how have you been? You haven't contacted me for a few days. Are you busy? Ning Chirue listened to the familiar gentle greeting, and his mood was a little complicated. He whispered, I've been sick recently. Sick? Is it serious? Fortunately, it's already under treatment. That's good. Yes. Ning Chirue responded and did not say anything else. The conversation between the two also became cold. Wen Jingping frowned and felt a little depressed. In the past, when they chatted, Ning Chirue was always very enthusiastic. He would take the initiative to talk about his recent schedule and some things that happened at work. There had never been such an awkward silence. Wen Jingping had planned to listen to Ning Chirue's complaints and try to lead him to ask about her recent situation. Then she would reveal the things on the internet to him and let him take the initiative to ask for help. Chapter 160. Wen Jingping was already anxious because of all the things that had happened in the past few days. Even though she knew that Ning Chirue was most likely her only hope now, she still felt suffocated. Her tone unconsciously revealed a little impatience. I happen to be free these 2 days. Brother Chirue, which hospital are you in now? Can I come and see you? If Wen Jingping had taken the initiative to look for him, Ning Chirue would have been more than happy to take the initiative to arrange all kinds of things for her and even send someone to pick her up in person. If the reporters outside took pictures of them, it would inevitably create some news. However, he had just been scolded by his elder brother, and his mind was still a little muddled. When he heard Wen Jingping's words, he suddenly felt a little uncomfortable and refused without thinking. Forget it. The smell of the hospital is heavy, and there are many people. It's not convenient for you to come over. Although he said that, Ning Chirue still had a little thought in his heart. He thought that if Wen Jingping really cared about him, she would not care about this inconvenience and would definitely want to come and see him. But if she was just being polite, then Wen Jingping, who did not know Ning Chirue's thoughts, was slightly relieved when she heard his words. She pretended to be regretful and said, "Okay then. Let's meet again when you recover, Brother Chirue." Ning Chirue's heart suddenly turned cold. He frowned slightly and continued, "Then we may have to wait for a long time." "A long time?" Wen Jingping was taken aback. "Didn't you just say that it's not serious?" "It's not serious, but it's more troublesome to treat and will take some time." "How long will it take?" "At least 1 or 2 years." "So long." Wen Jingping's face suddenly changed. "Then, Brother Chirue, what about your work during this time?" Ning Chirue narrowed his eyes. As his brother said, he was stupid, but not hopelessly stupid. He was still sick, but a certain someone didn't care about what kind of illness it was that would take a year or 2 to recover. She didn't care about his current physical condition, what kind of pain he would experience during the treatment process, or whether he needed someone to accompany him. Instead, she only cared about his illness, whether he could still complete his job, and whether he could continue to stay in this industry. For a moment, Ning Chirue suspected that the person who was talking to him was not his friend, but a boss who prioritized the company's interests. "There's nothing we can do about it. Since we're sick, we can only put down our work. The company didn't make things difficult for me, but I'm afraid I won't be able to stay in the entertainment industry for the next year or 2. As soon as Ning Chirue said this, Wen Jingping's heart skipped a beat. The entertainment industry looked glamorous, but it was actually very fickle. Ning Chirue was a popular newcomer promoted by their company. He seemed to have a bright future, but if he really did not show up for 2 years, how many people would remember him? He didn't have any representative works to begin with, and the fans that he attracted with his face alone weren't solid either. In this world, there was no one who couldn't survive without another. After 2 years, how much traffic could Ning Chirue attract when he appeared in front of the public again? In Wen Jingping's view, Ning Chirue was now a useless pawn of his management company. Could this worthless pawn still help her? Wen Jingping's face was ashen, and she even had some resentment toward Ning Chirue in her heart. Why did he have to get sick at this time of all times? Chapter 161. Ning Chirue waited for a long time, but Wen Jingping did not respond. The coldness in his eyes intensified. "Let's not talk about me. How have you been recently? Is work going well?" Ning Chirue's words successfully pulled Wen Jingping out of her twisted negative emotions. She barely managed to calm herself down and said in distress, "It's not going very well." When Ning Chirue heard her words, he vaguely guessed something. He raised his eyebrows slightly and asked calmly, "Did something happen?" "Actually, it's not a big deal. It's just that someone on the same website copied my recipes after watching my live stream and became famous. Originally, I didn't want to make things too difficult for her, so I only posted a post to persuade her to stop such infringement. I didn't expect this person to have such a strong background. Now, many people on the internet are scolding me, and the program team is also." Wen Jingping's words were sad and aggrieved. If it were any other day, Ning Chirue would have comforted her with heartache. But today, Ning Chirue was silent for a moment and asked in a low voice, "Does Hua Xiaofan know about this?" "Xiaofan?" Wen Jingping was stunned. Usually, this person would not ask her this question. "Xiaofan has been busy recently, so I don't want to bother him with such trivial matters." "You don't want to bother him, so you use it to bother me?" Ning Chirue suddenly felt a little annoyed. Wen Jingping was dumbfounded. "Just an oh?" Usually, at times like this, you are very enthusiastic, right? Without waiting for Wen Jingping to think more, Ning Chirue asked calmly, By the way, you told me before that Xiaofan had to break off the engagement with Miss Su in public because the Su family was unwilling to break off the engagement. Did he tell you this, or did you guess it yourself? Brother Chirue, why are you suddenly asking this? Did someone tell you something? How do you know that someone told me something? Can't I be curious? That's not what I meant. So, which one is it? He told me, and I saw it with my own eyes. Then you said that Miss Su went to your school to make trouble for you. Was it in public, or was there anyone around? When Jingping did not understand why Ning Chirue suddenly asked about this, but it did not stop her from feeling guilty. She said she wanted to talk to me alone, so, is there no one around? Yeah. I understand. The warmth in Ning Chirue's eyes completely dissipated, and he already had a conclusion in his heart. When Jingping could not see Ning Chirue's expression, but her intuition told her that something was leaving her. She was inexplicably flustered. Chirue, it's time for my treatment. I'll contact you next time. After Ning Chirue finished speaking, he did not wait for Wen Jingping's reaction and directly ended the call. Wen Jingping listened to the busy tone and took a while to react. Did Ning Chirue hang up on her? Her last hope was shattered, and Wen Jingping could no longer suppress the anger in her heart. She flipped the table next to her. You usually say nice things, but when it comes to critical moments, none of you can be relied on. None of you can be relied on. Wen Jingping threw everything she could get her hands on, and her face became crazier and more twisted. The gentleness she had when she was talking to Ning Chirue on the phone just now was nowhere to be seen. Ning Chirue hung up the phone and felt that he was a fool for feeling sorry for someone during this period of time. Chapter 162. Yang Jinyu arrived at this time. When he saw this scene, he thought that Ning Chirue had given up on himself because of his illness, so he quickly stepped forward to stop him. What are you doing? Even if you're sick, you can't give up on yourself. Aren't there doctors around? There will always be a way. Ning Chirue was slightly startled and looked at Yang Jinyu in surprise. Why are you here? Yang Jinyu saw that Ning Chirue did not do anything drastic, so he breathed a sigh of relief and smiled. I sent you a few messages, but you didn't reply, so I knew something might have happened to you. When I called, it was your agent who answered. He told me that you were sick and are now in the hospital, so I rushed over. Yang Jinyu glanced at Ning Chirue cautiously as he spoke. Before he came, he had roughly learned about Ning Chirue's condition from Ning Chirue's agent and knew that it was a serious illness that could become serious if he was not careful. Because of this, when he saw Ning Chirue pounding the bed, his first reaction was to think that Ning Chirue was worried about his illness. Don't worry. Since we already know about your condition, we will definitely find a treatment soon and let you get better as soon as possible. Okay. Ning Chirue had not recovered from the huge shock that the gentle girl he liked was actually a beautiful snake full of lies. His whole body was a little weak. Yang Jinyu saw that he was getting more and more anxious, and a hint of struggle flashed in his eyes. He gritted his teeth and said, Actually, I came here today to tell you that if the hospital can't help, you can try medicinal cuisine. Medicinal cuisine? Ning Chirue felt that this term was a little familiar. Well, not long ago, a friend of mine also had a relatively difficult illness. He saw many doctors, but they all said that there was no way. Later, by chance, he drew a medicinal cuisine in a live broadcast room, and it really worked after eating it. Yang Jinyu was about to sell it, but when he looked down, he met Ning Chirue's indescribable eyes. What's with your expression? Generally, sentences like, my friend, and my relative, are referring to themselves. Ning Chirue looked at him meaningfully. What's the more difficult illness? Is it because you've been with a lot of women and finally got your retribution? Yang Jinyu did not expect Ning Chirue's mouth to be so poisonous. He hit the nail on the head, and his whole body froze. Ning Chirue just said it casually, but he did not expect Yang Jinyu's expression to change after hearing it. It's true. TSK. 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 I can't believe that the CEO of the Yang Group, the famous playboy in the upper-class circle, can't do it. If this were to spread, it would be big news. Ning. Ning Chirue saw that Yang Jinyo's face was green and white, and he looked like he could explode at any time. He quickly restrained his smile and said, "Then continue. After you were impotent, you drew a medicinal cuisine in the live broadcast room. What happened then?" Chapter 163. Your whole body is warm? Ning Chirue's focus was a bit off. He glanced at Yang Jinyu again and said with a half-smile, "So that person is really you? Otherwise, how could you know so clearly?" Yang Jinyu was speechless. As the two were talking, Ning Chirue's agent suddenly opened the door and walked in with two heavy lunchboxes in his hands. "Chirue, your dinner is here." "It's so late and you haven't eaten yet?" Yang Jinyu frowned slightly and stepped aside to make room for his agent. The agent skillfully set up the table, opened the lunchboxes, and took out a bowl of soup, porridge, and a fish. As soon as the box was opened, the aroma of the food inside immediately wafted out and spread throughout the ward. Ning Chirue muttered uncomfortably, "It smells quite good." Yang Jinyu was completely dumbfounded. He glanced at the three familiar dishes on the table, especially the fish. When watching the live broadcast, he and the other audience members were jealous that the fish would end up in someone's stomach. As a result, this fish appeared so blatantly in front of him and on his good friend's dinner table. This. Yang Jinyu pointed at the fish with a trembling finger, looking like he could faint at any time. Ning Chirue was shocked. "What's wrong with you? Are you having a stroke?" Yang Jinyu wiped his face and slammed the table. "Where did you get this food?" "My brother found a doctor to treat my illness. This food was sent by the doctor. He said that eating it together would be good for my illness." When Yang Jinyu heard this, he finally couldn't help but swear. F***ck. He now felt that he had just exposed his shortcomings and tried to sell benefits to his good friend. It was really stupid. Su Yiyan, who did not know that she had been discovered by the audience and was on the verge of exposing herself, was busy preparing the next few dishes. Considering Hua Chenhuan's taste, Su Yiyan made boiled pork slices, mapo tofu, dry-fried pork ribs, and Sichuan-flavored hoof soup this time. These dishes were the type that had a strong taste. As soon as they were out of the pot, the smell drifted all the way out of the kitchen, attracting the gluttonous worms. When Su Yiyan finished cooking, Mr. Su and the others' necks were almost stiff. Su Yiyan took out a portion of the dishes and packed them up. Then, he asked someone to bring the dishes out first. At the fastest speed, he stir-fried the sweet and sour pork and scrambled eggs with tomatoes. Cheng Xiuqin and the others had eaten a lot of spicy boiled fish when she made it last time. They probably liked the taste of this dish. It was just that eating too much spicy food would be a burden to the old man's stomach, so they prepared some other dishes for him to choose from. After doing all this, Su Yiyan didn't have time to eat. She first sent out the packed food. It was Gu Xiaoyang, who was temporarily assigned to take the food. After Su Yiyan handed the food to him, he gave him a bottle of hot drink. "Thank you for your hard work. This is mint tea. Drink some to relieve your nose's discomfort." Gu Xiaoyang was stunned. He had a slight allergic rhinitis. It was fine usually, but when the season changed or the weather was cold, he would sneeze non-stop. His nose was always uncomfortable. Yu Zian and the others knew about this, but he didn't expect Su Yiyan to be so attentive to find out. She even specially prepared a cup of tea for him. Chapter 164. This had nothing to do with Su Yiyan's attentiveness. She only knew that Gu Xiaoyang had rhinitis because she had heard others mention it when she was with Hua Chenhuan in her previous life. In her opinion, anyone who treated Hua Chenhuan well was one of her own. Since he was one of her own, it was no big deal for her to take care of him. After sending Gu Xiaoyang off, Su Yiyan suddenly heard a system notification in her head. "Congratulations on snatching the female protagonist's golden finger progress +5. The current progress is 10%. Please continue to work hard and snatch more golden fingers from the female protagonist as soon as possible to change her fate." Su Yiyan suddenly stopped in her tracks and said in surprise, "It increased by 5% all of a sudden? What happened?" She had worked so hard to do live broadcasts and beat up Hua Xiaofan in the beginning, but she only managed to increase the progress by 5%. After testing, Ning Chirue, who was an important assistant to the female protagonist in the early stage, has deviated from the main plot and indirectly affected the development of the male and female protagonists in the later stage. Therefore, the progress has increased by 5%. Deviated from the main plot means Ning Chirue is no longer the female protagonist's assistant. Just now, he blacklisted the female protagonist after talking to her. Blacklisted? Other than someone who had completely seen Wen Jingping's true colors, Su Yiyan could not think of any other reason that would make this former bootlicker voluntarily blacklist the main character. It was not in vain that I spent so much effort to treat him. At least he realized that he was wrong. Otherwise, no matter how good I am, I can't cure his brain. After sighing, Su Yiyan was in a good mood and hummed a tune as she entered the house. She was not the only one who was in a good mood. Hua Chenhuan looked at the steaming dishes in front of him. At a glance, he could tell that the dishes were prepared according to his taste. He glanced to the side and accurately caught the movements of Yu Zian and the other two's throats. Does it smell good? The three of them were stunned and looked at each other stupidly. Yu Zian then replied expectantly, "Yes." Hua Chenhuan nodded solemnly and said, "Yes. Even if it smells good, I won't let you have it. It's all mine." That's it? Yu Zian's head was filled with question marks. This was different from what he had imagined. Hua Chenhuan continued to eat under Yu Zian's resentful gaze with a clear conscience. The spicy boiled meat slices had similar ingredients to the spicy boiled fish, but it lacked the freshness of the fish and had the softness of the steamed meat. It was crisp and tender and went well with rice. The mapo tofu crumbled with a single poke. It could only be scooped up with a spoon and swallowed without chewing. Needless to say, the pork ribs had a slightly spicy meat aroma. Paired with the refreshing cucumber, it made people want to swallow their tongues. Lastly, he drank a mouthful of pork trotters soup. The gelatinous substance of the pork trotters had already melted into the soup. It was fragrant and mellow, and the aftertaste was endless. After Hua Chenhuan tasted the food one by one, she seemed to have thought of something. She raised her head and looked at the three of them. "Have you guys eaten yet?" "Yes." "What are you eating?" Hua Chenhuan was so talkative today that the few of them were a little overwhelmed. Nutrient solution. Nutrient solution. The food was delivered from Chuanyun Restaurant. Chuanyun Restaurant was a famous high-class restaurant in the city. Yu Zian and Gu Xiaoyang immediately glared at the trader who ate all the food by herself. Hua Chenhuan asked excitedly, "Is it as good as Yanyan's food?" "No." Only then did Hua Chenhuan reply contentedly, "Okay." He continued to eat. Chapter 165. The three pitiful bachelors had to watch their young master eat delicious food in the middle of the night. Not only were they drooling, but they were also forced to accept the critical hit from the couple. Fortunately, Su Yiyan gave Gu Xiaoyang a bottle of peppermint tea before she left. It finally soothed a certain someone's heart that was riddled with holes because of his young master. However, as soon as he took it out, the faint fragrance attracted the attention of the two people beside him. "What's that in your hand?" The sharp-eyed Yu Zian could tell that the subtle fragrance came from the thermos flask in Gu Xiaoyang's hand. Gu Xiaoyang did not hide it. He poured a small cup from the flask and drank it. The coolness of the mint paired with the mellowness of the tea was refreshing. His nose, which had been a little stuffy for the past 2 days, seemed to be much better, just as Su Yiyan said. "This is mint tea. Miss Su gave it to me. She said that it can relieve the discomfort in my nose." Yu Zian and Yu Zian were stunned when they heard Gu Xiaoyang's words. They looked at each other and said, "How did Miss Su know about your nose?" Maybe young master told her? Perhaps it was because she was observant enough to notice it. Anyway, she knew about it and specially prepared this for me. As a qualified Su boaster, Yu Zian stared at the bottle in Gu Xiaoyang's hand. He was touched and envious. "That's great. Our future young madam is really a heartwarming little angel. Not only does she think of young master wholeheartedly, but she also cares about young master's subordinates and makes medicinal cuisine for us. You don't know, but the medicinal cuisine in Miss Su's live streaming room is really priceless now. It's made with freshly cultivated ancient earth herbs. You can't buy it even if you have the money." Yu Zian's eager little eyes were so obvious that it was hard for Gu Xiaoyang to ignore it. After hesitating for a moment, he poured a small cup and handed it to Yu Zian. Try it. Yu Zian's eyes lit up. He took the half cup of mint tea and drank it carefully. After he was done, he sighed with satisfaction. It's delicious. Zhua Yanbai was not very interested in the tea. Now that he saw the two of them like this, he was interested and took the initiative to ask, "What about me?" Gu Xiaoyang immediately took 2 steps back with the bottle in his arms. He waved his hand and said in disdain, "Go away, go away. You still have the nerve to say that. We were so busy today that we even drank nutrient solutions for dinner. You, on the other hand, ordered takeout from a high-end restaurant and ate it all by yourself." Yu Zian echoed, "That's right, traitor. If you don't let me drink, I'll tell young master. Think about it. If young master knows that Miss Su specially made a bottle of tea for you, what will the consequences be?" Gu Xiaoyang's expression stiffened. Young master is not that stingy. Young master is indeed generous in other aspects, but when it comes to Miss Su, you know. UB*TCH. What they didn't know was that the young master, whom they thought was very stingy, didn't return to his room immediately after dinner. Instead, he sat on the railing on the second floor and looked down at the entire farce below him. Chapter 166. Su Yiyan went upstairs after having dinner with her family. As soon as she entered the house, she received a video call from Hua Chenhuan. Her eyes lit up. "Have you eaten? Do you like the food I made at night? Is there anything you particularly like? I'll make it for you next time." Hua Chenhuan looked into Su Yiyan's sparkling eyes and smiled unconsciously. "They're all delicious. I like them all. It seems that you still don't have enough choices. I'll make something else for you tomorrow." "Ah, no, we're going to meet tomorrow. I'll make some snacks for you. Do you like sweet things?" "Sweet?" Hua Chenhuan was stunned. He nodded and said, "Yes, I like them. Then I'll make egg tarts and cakes for you tomorrow. I'll also make a bottle of freshly ground soy milk. Soy milk is the warmest in this weather." "Okay." Hua Chenhuan's eyes showed some expectation. Then he asked in a low voice, "Did you prepare tea for Xiaoyang today? You saw it. Are you jealous?" Su Yiyan knew that Hua Chenhuan was a good person, but he was a little jealous. She hurriedly explained, "I saw that he came to get the food alone. It's hard on such a cold day, so I thought I'd help him if I could. To put it bluntly, it's because he's your man that I want to take care of him. If it were someone else, I wouldn't be so carefree." Hua Chenhuan knew what she meant. Just like Gu Xiaoyang, she also knew that she gave him tea because she loved him. In the end, she cared about him. Therefore, when Hua Chenhuan heard them talk about it, he was not angry. Instead, he was more concerned about, "They said you're a little angel." Su Yiyan was slightly stunned. She smiled faintly and said, "I'm not." "You are. Even if I am, I'm only your little angel. Moreover, it's only if you're here. As long as you're here, I'm a little angel. If you're gone, an angel will also degenerate into a demon. Just like you after I passed away in my previous life, you lost your warmth, and in order to take revenge, you didn't hesitate to make the world your enemy." Su Yiyan knew that Hua Chenhuan could appear fearless in front of everyone except for her. He was worried that he would hurt her and be unworthy of her. Su Yiyan wanted to tell him that no one in this world was better than him, that no one was more worthy of her. However, it was useless to talk about this kind of thing. She hoped that she could use her actions to tell him these things and make him feel at ease. Hua Chenhuan seemed to have noticed this as well. The expression on her face gradually softened. "Previously, you said that your grandfather wanted to meet me. I'm free these few days. All right, I'll ask Grandpa tomorrow to arrange a time for a family gathering." Hua Chenhuan was warmed by the words, family. He agreed without thinking. "Okay." Dun Dun, who was standing guard not far from Hua Chenhuan, seemed to have heard these 3 words. It ran over and barked at Su Yiyan. "Dun Dun? What's wrong with it?" "It's probably complaining that we haven't brought it to see its little fiancé for a long time." When Dun Dun heard this, it immediately barked twice in excitement. Obviously, it agreed with this statement very much. Su Yan then remembered that during this period of time, she had to take over the entertainment company's affairs and live stream to help her family recuperate. She had forgotten to ask how Ling Xiaoqi was doing. Chapter 167. Poor Zai Zai thought that this matter was over, but when it was suddenly mentioned again, it immediately exploded. It roared at its owner with all its might, resolutely refusing to do this inhumane thing. Su Yan was amused by her dog's emotional and sorrowful barking. After laughing for a while, she said compassionately, "Oh, I forgot. If you get a vasectomy now, even if Hua Hua is willing, you won't have the chance to make it give birth to a puppy for you. So forget it." Woof. Dundun's last bark was sorrowful. Coupled with its sad little eyes, those who didn't know would think that they were abusing dogs. Cough, literally abusing dogs. Okay, I'll ask about your mother-in-law's recent situation first. In 2 days, I'll take you to see the love of your dreams. You'd better behave yourself these few days. Don't always cause trouble. Otherwise, I won't take you, okay? Dun barked again. It obediently lay on the table and looked at her with eager eyes, as if to say, "I'm good, you have to keep your promise." Su Yan really couldn't do anything about this clown. She turned to Hua Chenhuan and said, "Take good care of our Zai Zai. See you tomorrow." See you tomorrow. The next day, Su Yan got up early to prepare the snacks that she had promised to make for Hua Chenhuan the day before. The egg tart liquid was not complicated. She just had to mix it according to the ratio. The real difficulty was making the egg tart skin. The process was particularly complicated and time-consuming. Aunt Li was already used to her young mistress running to the kitchen for no reason. She would always make some dishes that she had never seen before, but they were extremely fragrant. At first, Aunt Li was a little worried that her master's cooking skills were so good that she would lose her job. Later, she saw that the masters of the house didn't mention this matter much. Usually, when Su Yan didn't cook, they would all eat the food she made. She gradually felt relieved. When she saw Su Yan walking around in the kitchen as if she was looking for something, she couldn't help but ask, "Young mistress, are you looking for something? Do we have a mixer at home?" Yes. It's just that I don't usually use it. It's all in the corner. I'll find it for you." The family usually ate stir-fried vegetables, so this blender really didn't have much use. It was only occasionally used to make juice, so it was no wonder that it was thrown in a corner and couldn't be found. "Miss, are you going to make juice today?" Aunt Li asked curiously as she moved the blender out. "No, I want to make some egg tarts and cakes." Egg tarts and cake. It was another dish she had never heard of. As if seeing Aunt Li's surprise, Su Yan smiled and said, "I'll make more in a while and let you all have a taste." Okay. Then I'll go out first. If Miss needs any help, just call me." Most chefs didn't like to be watched by others when they were cooking. Aunt Li was tactful and left first. Yes. After sending Aunt Li away, Su Yan found some flour with high and low gluten. After spending nearly an hour, she finally made dozens of egg tarts. After that, she put the egg mixture in and baked it in the oven for more than 10 minutes. After putting the egg tarts in the oven, Su Yan began to make small cakes. The cake base was easy to make, but after the cream was made, Su Yan tried to draw a cartoon version of herself and Hua Chenhuan on the cake for a while. She found that it was a little difficult, and the finished product wasn't particularly good-looking. Chapter 168. The sweet aroma of egg tarts and cakes was quite strong, especially when they were baked. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that the aroma wafted 10 miles away. The men, on the other hand, weren't particularly interested in sweets. Although they felt that the aroma was really fragrant, they didn't show any shameful expressions of desire. Cheng Xiuqin and Qin Shueru weren't as calm as them. They followed the aroma all the way to the kitchen and asked eagerly, Yan, what delicious food are you making now? Why is it so fragrant? Is it ready?" Okay, these are egg tarts. Eat them while they're hot. The egg tarts won't be crispy when they're cold. As for the cake, I left a big one for you. I'll bring it out later. Cheng Xiuqin took the plate of egg tarts from Su Yan and happily followed Qin Shueru out. As soon as she walked out of the kitchen, she couldn't help but take one and stuff it into her mouth with a look of enjoyment. It's delicious. If I knew that Yen Yen had talent in this area, I would have let him learn it earlier. Even if you say that, you have to be willing to do it. But Yen Yen's food is really delicious. Not only have I not continued to lose weight these days, I've gained a lot of weight. If this goes on, I won't bear to go back. Then don't go back so quickly. Stay for a few more days. There's nothing to do anyway. It's not a bad thing to let Yen Yen nourish your body more. Qin Shueru subconsciously touched her stomach and smiled. She didn't say anything else. Su Yiyen spread cream on the big cake. After she finished painting it, she asked Aunt Li to bring it out. She asked her to help distribute the remaining egg tarts to some of the old servants who had worked in the house for a long time. She carefully put the egg tarts and the only small cake into a paper box and packed it. Then, she took the boiled hot soy milk and went out. As soon as she walked out of the small kitchen, she ran into her grandfather. Are you going to see that kid from the family, Hua? Yes. Humph. Old Master Chung snorted. After expressing his dissatisfaction, he got down to business. I've done what you asked me to do. Thank you, Grandpa. I knew Grandpa was the best. As long as you make a move, there is nothing you can't do. Old Master Chung felt smug from the compliment, but his face was still taut as he sternly said, Don't flatter me. Have you really decided to hand over this matter to the Research Institute? You have to know that these things will bring you great benefits if you take them out. No matter how great the benefits are, it's useless if you don't have the life to enjoy them. This was never what I wanted. It's fine to give it to the Research Institute. At least they can help me withstand some external pressure. Moreover, didn't you also fight for some convenience for me? Just in terms of the price, I have enough right to decide and share. With this alone, I think I won't have to worry about food and clothing for the rest of my life even if I don't take the family's money. Whether it was money or reputation, neither was the most important thing to her. To put it bluntly, she had chosen to let her grandfather hand those things over to the Research Institute because she hoped that the Research Institute would owe her grandfather a favor and seek protection for herself. If something like her previous life happened again in the future, at least someone would stand up and protect her family. Not everyone in this world was selfish, and not everyone was selfless. When the things you want to do inevitably touch the interests of some people, the only way to prevent yourself from being hurt is to let the people's long-term interests coexist with you. Chapter 169. Old Master Chung seemed to have seen through her thoughts. Feeling helpless and distressed, he rebuked her. You're so promising. My grandfather, father, brother, uncle, and future husband are also outstanding. Why do I need to be so promising? What she wanted from the beginning to the end was for herself and her family to be safe and successful for the rest of her life. I'm relying on you to protect me for the rest of my life. You can't get rid of me even if you want to. Old Master Chung rolled his eyes at her. Forget it. Since you have your own ideas, I won't ask you anymore. It's fine as long as you know what you're doing. Su Yiyen's heart warmed. She was extremely grateful for this old man's tolerance and love for her. Even when she had taken out those things for the first time and showed them to him, he had obviously been extremely surprised. However, after she expressed that she didn't want to say more, he chose to be tolerant and didn't ask any more questions. He even took the initiative to help her make up an excuse to fool the people in the Research Institute. After they finished talking about business, Old Master Chung didn't ask her to stay any longer. He only reluctantly reminded her, You must come back before 10 o'clock tonight. Chung Xiuqin and the others chased after them and added, You can't stay overnight. You can't kiss. You can't do anything other than holding hands. Su Yiyen. Aren't you guys thinking too much? When Hua Chenhuan saw Su Yiyen, the first thing he saw was her almost completely red ears. He raised his eyebrows slightly and vaguely guessed something. Did you wait long? Sorry for the delay. When Su Yiyen saw Hua Chenhuan's eyes light up, she immediately went forward and hugged him. In fact, she wanted to hang her whole body on Hua Chenhuan's body and be at ease as a human pendant. Unfortunately, it was a little difficult for Hua Chenhuan to fulfill her wish now. When she thought of this, Su Yiyen couldn't wait to get married. As long as she got married, she could logically move into the family Hua mansion and start her treatment. It's fine, we just arrived. Hua Chenhuan held Su Yiyen's cold hand and rubbed it. She frowned and said, "It's cold outside. Let's get into the car first." Yes. As soon as the two of them got into the car, Su Yiyen took out the cake and egg tarts from the box. "These are the cakes and egg tarts I made. Try them and see if you like them. Oh, by the way, there's also soy milk. I ground it just now and it's still warm. Drink some to warm your body first." Hua Chenhuan took the soy milk and touched it. Sure enough, it was still warm. It felt warm and comfortable in her hands. However, his first thought was not to drink it. Instead, he pulled Su Yiyen's hand and covered it with his. As a result, the scene in the car changed to Su Yiyen's hand holding the cup, and Hua Chenhuan's hand covering the back of Su Yiyen's hand. Her palm and the back of her hand were both warm. Soon, Su Yiyen's cold hand was warmed up. Yu Zian sat in the driver's seat. He wanted to see what was going on in the back seat through the rearview mirror. What entered his eyes was this sparkling scene. It almost blinded his titanium dog eyes. "Your scarf." Su Yiyen's hand was covered. She finally noticed the snow-white scarf that Hua Chenhuan was wearing today. Wasn't this one of the scarves that she had chosen for Hua Chenhuan when she went shopping with him last time? "It doesn't look good?" "No, it looks good, very good. You're super handsome today." "Yes." Hua Chenhuan's eyes lit up, and the tips of her ears turned red. Chapter 170. Su Yiyen held the cup of soy milk for a while and felt that her hands had warmed up a little. She began to urge Hua Chenhuan to eat. "Try this egg tart. It's been baked for a while and it's a little cold. The outer skin might not be as crispy as before." Hua Chenhuan took a bite of the brightly colored egg tart from Su Yiyen's outstretched hand. The slightly cold skin of the egg tart was a little chewy, and the golden liquid was soft and fragrant, just like the person beside her. "It's delicious. I'm glad you like it." Su Yiyen breathed a sigh of relief and took out the exquisite little cake. "I wanted to draw two people and a dun-dun, but I found it difficult to draw people. Let me practice a little more. On the day of our wedding, I'll make a big cake and put it in the living room of the old mansion. What do you think?" Hua Chenhuan's eyes lit up when he heard that. "Okay." Su Yiyen was relieved to see that Hua Chenhuan didn't reject the two things. She passed the other one she prepared to Yu Zian. "Time is limited, and it's a little troublesome to make a cake. I only made two. One is at home, and the other is for your young master. I made quite a lot of egg tart. Take it back and try it with the others later." Yu Zian, who was driving, was almost moved to tears. He instantly forgot about the anger from being abused. While waiting for the car, he hurriedly took the box that Su Yiyen passed to him. "Thank you, Miss Su. I'll definitely take it back and share it with the others." Yu Zian stole a glance at Hua Chenhuan when he said this. Seeing that he didn't have any reaction, he happily placed the box of egg tart in the front seat. He couldn't help but take a few glances at it before he drove off. Those who didn't know better would think that he was looking at his dream lover. After arriving at the hospital, Hua Chenhuan accompanied Su Yiyen upstairs while Yu Zian waited downstairs. As soon as the two of them left, Yu Zian shot a short video. It was a 360-degree loop, trying to capture all the scrumptiousness of the egg tarts in this short video. After taking the picture, Yu Zian enjoyed it for a while before sending it to the group of three. He said happily, "Look, what's this?" Although Zhou Yanbai and Gu Xiaoyang were both in the company, their working hours were relatively flexible, so they replied almost instantly. "Lai Gu Xiaoyang. F***CK. What kind of peerless cutie, no, peerless delicacy was this? Hand it over and I won't kill you. Silence like a pine tree. Is this food?" Fisherman Zian. He, I didn't waste so much effort to get this spot today. Young madam made some snacks and drinks for young master, and she also prepared some for us. She was so considerate and kind. Sob, sob, sob. I was so touched that I was about to cry. Lai Gu Xiaoyang. Jealousy makes me ugly. JPG. Jealousy makes me cry. JPG. Jealousy makes me dissociate. JPG. Crying. JPG. Why wasn't I the one who went with her today? Quiet as a pine. Us? So all of us have a share? Fisherman Zian. It's me and Xiaoyang. You don't have a share. Lai Gu Xiaoyang. Yes, you don't have a share. It's all me and Zian's, blissful. JPG. Quiet as a pine. You guys are openly abusing your power for personal gain and embezzling public property. Fisherman Zian. So what? Young madam only said that she would let us have a taste. She didn't mention any names. Since it's in my hands, I have the final say. Lai Gu Xiaoyang. That's right. Traitors have no right to speak. Get lost. Righteous. JPG. Chapter 171. Su Yiyan did not know that the snack she made had once again witnessed a fake brotherly relationship. When she wheeled Hua Chenhuan into Ning Qirui's ward, she was surprised to find that there was another person in addition to Ning Xiyuan. This is... Su Yiyan frowned and looked displeased. She had confirmed the time of visit with the Ning brothers before she came, and this person was still in the ward at this time. Obviously, the brothers had agreed. Su Yiyan was a little dissatisfied with the way the two brothers casually revealed the fact that she had treated Ning Qirui to others. As if he could read Su Yiyan's mind, Yang Jinyu quickly stepped forward like a little fanboy and wanted to hold Su Yiyan's hand. Su Yiyan was shocked, and Hua Chenhuan immediately pulled Su Yiyan to her side. Her sharp gaze was like a sharp knife cutting at Yang Jinyu. What do you want to do? Yang Jinyu thought that he had seen a lot of big shots, but when he met Hua Chenhuan's gaze, he could not help but feel scared. When he saw Su Yiyan's guarded gaze, he also realized that he had lost his composure. He laughed dryly and said, Sorry, I was too presumptuous. My name is Yang Jinyu, and I'm Chirue's good friend. I was worried when I found out that Chirue was sick. After knowing that Miss Su had a way to cure him, I was a little excited. Please forgive me for offending Miss Su. I really don't mean any harm. As Yang Jinyu spoke, he automatically took a few steps back to show that he was harmless. Ning Xiyuan saw that the atmosphere was a little awkward, so he quickly stepped forward to smooth things over. Jinyu and us brothers grew up together. When Chirue was sick, he was also concerned and insisted on staying to see you. We were too presumptuous. If Miss Su minds, we won't let him come next time. Since Ning Xiyuan had said so, Su Yiyan did not pursue the matter. After all, she did not explicitly ask the brothers not to spread news about her. It's okay, but next time, I hope that President Ning will let me know in advance so that I can be mentally prepared. Of course. Just as Su Yiyan expected, after she left yesterday, Ning Xiyuan asked the doctor in the hospital to do a full body checkup on Ning Qirui. He did it again after eating the medicinal cuisine she sent over. Although the effect was a little subtle at first, after taking a few medicinal meals, Ning Qirui's illness did improve a little in terms of overall data. In Ning Xiyuan's opinion, this was still far from enough. However, to the doctors in the hospital, it was already considered a miracle to be able to achieve such results in such a short period of time. Although Ning Xiyuan didn't know much about medicine, he could tell from the doctor's reactions that Su Yiyan was truly capable and wasn't trying to be mysterious. His attitude towards Su Yiyan was much warmer than before. Seeing that Su Yiyan's expression was slightly better because of his words, Ning Xiyuan breathed a sigh of relief. He took the initiative to change the topic. Miss Su, this is my fiancé, Hua Chenhuan. As soon as she said this, Ning Xiyuan and Yang Jinyu looked at each other and saw a trace of surprise in each other's eyes. They had heard of Hua Chenhuan's name before, but they did not expect to meet him here. Moreover, seeing how this person was subconsciously protecting Su Yiyan just now, the groundless rumors outside would probably be false. You're tuning in to the Xiaofan's Wuxia Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.